Okay. Hi sir, my name is Deertanan, son of J. My matrix ID number is 24290. Today I am going to talk about selection. Actually, what is selection? Selection is also called as decision, which is one of the three basic logic structure in the computer programming. The other two logic structure of is sequence and loop. The subtopic of the selection is if-else, switch, and nested if-else. Today I am going to talk about if-else. Here the condition is the expression that is the being evaluated. Okay, if this condition is true, statement is executed. If it is false, the statement is not executed. It's simply ignore like that. And the program continues right after the entire selection statement. If there are multiple statements, we will use the curly brackets and must be used to block those statements. Okay, these are my sample program. First line, include iStream. Include iStream allow us to run some basic function, which is cout and cin. Using namespace std. Namespace std allow us to organize a large program. And int main tell us the point of the execution of the program start. There are three variables ABC. ABC is actually the data type of integer, and this line shows the program prompts the user to enter the first number, and the the user will enter the number as A. Same goes to second number and third number. Second number is B and third number is C. Okay. Now there are several conditions in this program. If A is more than B and A is more than C, the output will be A is the largest number. Same goes to B. If B is more than A and B is more than C, B is the largest number. And same goes to C. If C is more than A and C is more than B, C will be the larger number. As cout, all the numbers are same. Cout, all the numbers are same means A, B and C are the same numbers. And return 0. Return 0 is telling us that it's successfully executed. These are the example output from my program. Okay, the first output is first number is 1, 2, 3, second number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and third number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know the third number is the largest number, and we execute third number as the largest number. Same goes to here. First number is negative 1, 2, 3, second number is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the third number is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, and it executes as negative 1 to 3 is the largest number, and we know negative 1 to 3 is more than second number and third number. And the last output is I put first number, second number, and third number are the same number, which is 1, 2, 3, and it executes as all the numbers are same. Thank you.
Hello sir, my name is Kogulan. My ID is 24415. Today my topic is repetition while. Let's have a look at what is the meaning of while loop. While loop means the statement is a body loop are repeated as long as the loop repetition condition is true. Otherwise, the loop is stopped when the repetition condition is false. Okay, now let's have a look at a sample program. First, include IOStream. Include IOStream. It means it allows us to run some basic functions. Example, couts and cin and so on. Next is include cmat. We are using modulo 2 and square root in this program, so which means we have to include cmat in our code. Next is using namespace std. Using namespace std allows us to organize a large program such as this. Okay, int main. Int main is the point where the execution of the program begins. Okay. After that, we declare n, I, k as the data type integer, and we initialize the value of I as 2 and the value of k as 0. Next, we prompt the user to key in a positive integer value, and the the value is registered as n. Okay, now let's come to the loop section of our program. While I, which was 2, is lesser than square root of n, the loop proceeds and the value of n modulo I, which was 2 in this case, is equal to 0. The value of k will be changed. When the value of k is changed, the loop stops. Break is actually the break, which means it breaks the loop. It terminates the loop. Okay, if I is not equal to 0, the value of I, for example in this case which was 2, will be added by 1, which is denoted by the counter here, I++. Next, n modulo I will be n modulo 3. If it fails, it will keep on going until n modulo 4, n modulo 5 and so on until you get the 0. If you cannot get the value of 0, the value of k will remain the same. Okay, if value of k does not change, which means n modulo I is not equal to 0, the Cout will be this is a prime number. Else, the Cout will be this is not a prime number. Okay, now let's have a look at our sample output that I have gotten. Okay, I have keyed in a positive integer value which is 9. Okay, now we know 9 modulo 2 we will not get 0. Therefore, the loop will be not executed and I++. So the value of 2 will be added by 1. Now 9 divided by 3. 9 modulo 3, you will get 0. Okay, then therefore the value of k will be changed to 1 and the program will execute. This is not a prime number. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi sir, my name is Yogenraj and my ID is 17001237. Today I will be presenting on functions. So, what is function? A function is a group of statements that together perform a task. Every C++ program has at least one function which is main, and all the most trivial programs can define additional functions. You can divide up your code into separate functions. How you can divide up your code among different functions is up to you. But logically, the division is usually such that each functions perform a specific task. A function declaration tells the compiler about a function is function's name, return type and parameters. A function definition provides the actual body of the function. As you can see, this is an example of a program. So, what does this program tell us about? So, the brief view of this code is the user has to input the length of a side of a cube, and the program will calculate the volume of the cube and prints out the results of the volume of the cube. So we start off with hashtag include IOStream. What does hashtag include IOStream means is that it allows us to run some basic functions. For example, cout and cin. For the second line is using namespace standard. What is using namespace standard? It is actually allows us to organize a large program. So I declared my function type as double cube volume, and the parameter of double cube volume is double side length. And then I have displayed and I have showed the computer how to calculate the volume by saying that double volume is equivalent to side length times side length times side length. And then we will return the volume since the compiler has to calculate the volume and not void since it's going to calculate the volume of the cube. So the next line is int main. What does int main says? It tells us the point where the execution of the program starts. So double side, I have declared my data type as double since size can be up to few decimal places. And then the program prompts the user to enter at least one side of the cube. And then the user inputs the side of the cube. And then the computer prints out the volume of cube and it calculates it by using the cube volume that was actually declared before the main function itself. And then we will end the program with return 0. What is return 0? It has said that the program has run successfully and compiled properly. So this is an example of an output. So as you can see, the computer has prompted the user to enter a number called as 4, and then the computer, based on the formula, has calculated the volume of the cube by multiplying 4 to almost 3 times, which is 4 times 4 times 4, and the volume of the cube has been printed out as 64. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Mokhan 24434. Today I am going to talk about array. A group of elements that contains a data structure is called an array. Typically, these elements are all of the same data type, such as an integer or strings. Arrays are commonly used in computer programs to organize data so that a related set of values can be easily sorted or selected. Here is an example of an array program. Include IOString. Include IOString allow us to run some basic functions, example cout and cin. Namespace standard allow us to organize a large program, while int main tell us the point where the execution starts. Okay, the variable found in my program is gross, which contains an array of 10 sections with a data type of double. While there are another two variables, there are other two variables, x and pay, which has 9 sections of array. These two are under data type integer, int. And I've initialized range 1 until range 9 is equal to 0. Here is a condition for loop. The condition tells us that x is equals to 1 and x is less than or equals to 10, where x value increases by 1 for every loop. This line of program prompts the user to enter the gross amount into the system, and the user will enter the value of gross. To find the pay of one worker is equals to 200 plus 0.9 times gross, because 200 is their weekly payout and 0.9 percentage is the profit that made by the worker from the gross amount. Here are several statements telling to identify how many workers are eligible to get in certain condition. Okay, the first statement tells us that when the pay x is more than equals to 200 and less than equals to 299, they are falls under range 1, which is range 2. As if pay x is more than equals to 300 and less than equals to 399, they are fall under range 2. The same thing goes on and on until the pay x is more than equals to 1000. They fall under range 9. If not, invalid. Okay. Next, the program tells us how many number of people with salary ranging between 200 to 299, and it displays the number of people in between that particular range. Next, it will show the number of people under 300 to 399, 400 to 499, goes on and on until 900 to 999. Here is the sample output. This is the sample. This is sample output. The program prompts the value to enter gross amount number 1, gross amount number 2 until 10. Here are the examples: 100, 200, 300, 400, 600 until 5000 and 580. So here is the display of the number of people who falls under 200 to 299, and then 300, 399, 400, 499, 500, 599, goes on and on until the maximum more than 1000. Thank you.
Good day, Dr. Helmi. I'm Shaarvin Naidu, 24330 from Mechanical Engineering. Today I would like to present, as a what I'm assigned, a topic for function, whereby the subtopic is going to be function passing by reference. Okay, well. Okay, what does passing by reference means? In general, so reference, passing a reference means that it's to pass the reference of an argument in the calling of a function corresponding to the formal parameters of the called function. The called function can modify the value of the argument by using its reference passed in. Okay, well, in general, that's what it's saying. I will be explaining you more briefly in my upcoming example. Okay, so I said the following example shows how arguments are passed by reference. The reference parameters are initialized with the actual arguments when the function is called. So let's have the example. Well, include IOStream is what I have typed over here. Include IOStreams, it's something that allows us to run the basic functions like cout, cin, and everything. Okay, then the next will be include IOmanip, which is it will be manipulative parametric variable, declaration of manipulative parametric variable. So next we'll be using namespace standard, which means that we will be able to organize a large, real large program, followed by double A equals 0, B equals 0, average equals 0, and float calculate underscore average double N A double N B. Let me explain this to you. Okay, the double and float is something like a character or a declaration. It stores both of them. Really, their main function will be storing the real numbers. Okay, and they depend on the size of the decimal places that they're holding. So double A equals to 0 is a declaration, whereby followed by B equals 0 is also a declaration, and average 0 is also a declaration. So well, basically what I'll be doing in this program is finding how to get an average. Okay, so next will be the double average semicolon equals to average A plus B divided by 2, which is a process of calculation. And A equals to A plus 2, B equals to B plus 2, and written AVG. Written AVG will be the written average, whereby we do that to obtain the written value. And followed by int main. Okay, int main has its own function, whereby that's where the actual program execution will be occurring. Okay, followed by cout, enter two numbers and line, and the cin A and B. Okay, so cout is where we key in our values, and cin will be able to print the values on screen. Okay, and then the cout fixed set precision to calculate average A, B, and line. That's where what I've been doing over there is what the set precision is. We get to determine the decimal places that we are going to put behind the dot and everything. Okay, and the calculation is being occurred at this process, whereby the set precision calculate average A, B. That's where the calculation is being occurred. So that's where exactly the pass by a reference process is being occurred. Followed by cout A and line and cout B and line is what's it's showing that the evidence of pass by reference occurrence is happening over there. Okay, followed by a presentation on the C++ will be presented right after this. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. So, well, this is the program that I was telling about. Okay, so as I said, the program that I'm doing now is all about finding the average by using the pass by reference, as I have explained to you on the previous slide just now. The process whereby the evidence of the pass by reference, where in this exact process where it goes up and comes down back, that's how it works and everything. So I'm just going to prove the process to you, whether it's running or not. Okay, so we have to enter two numbers here. So for example 3 plus 2, so it will be 5, and when you divide by 2 we will be finding average, you will be getting 2.5. okay, I'm showing the last one. 60 plus by 100, which will be equal to 160, divided by 2 will be 80. So yeah, this is the average 80. Okay, all right sir, thank you very much.